Kevin. Well, first of all, I want to say Sawadee Kap.
Sorry, Cop.
So, hey, congratulations for the brother son.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very exciting. We worked so hard on it. We had so much fun, and it's really fun that we're finally getting to see it kind of get out there in the world and in doses. So the trailer came out, the teaser came out, poster came out, and people are starting to see it, and I'm just excited that other people are seeing it because, in our little bubble, we've been just like living with it for so long that we can't really see anything anymore. So it's great to see other people seeing it kind of with a fresh set of eyes.
So, how did this project came about with you?
I was in Thailand actually shooting Thai cave rescue with, and there was this opportunity that came around. I got a call from my managers and my agent. They said, there's this really cool script that just kind of screams you. Would you take a read? And I was in the middle of shooting the show, so it was pretty hectic, right? Like, if you know anything about that show, we were shooting in like a real cave and with a lot of kids, and it was a very tense shoot. But when I got the script, I read it quick, like in the middle of the night, and I immediately met Brad and Byron and some of the executives over at his company, and we just started talking about like just not only movies, but also just our experiences growing up. Me and Byron had a lot of similarities growing up in the Asian American experience, and we just kind of vibed out. And though we were talking about the project, we were kind of talking about our lives in general. And we found that there were so many things that we could relate to. So that was the first meeting, was like, it was unlike any other meeting because I felt like we were in a weird way having some sort of weird group um, therapy session in an odd way because we were just sharing our experiences and finding comfort within that. So I already knew that there was something magical there. And then you get to all the fun stuff, all the martial arts, fight choreography, the larger than life characters, the music, the food, and then everything just gets thrown in there into a blender, and it's super fun. So it's kind of like everything that I've always wanted to do. Um, it's a family story at its core, but it is a hyper um, stylized action show as well.
I know this is a very, very much a Asian story with
Yes.
so many Asian cultures. I mean, there's so many little Asian intric things that are inputted into this series that I don't even realize. And for myself, being an a Asian immigrant myself,
Oh,
you know,
that's great. That's great. It's really great to hear that because that was something that we were really hoping for, right? Like, you want to create a show that's going to work for a large group of people, but if you can throw in those nuances or those little moments that people within the community can like see and recognize themselves in, then it just makes the experience that much more fun, you know? So I'm glad to hear you say that, and I really hope little things kind of pop out. Like, for instance, like when I was thinking about the opening of the show and introducing every character, it's like we talked about the moment where how many episodes have you seen now?
I've seen all the
Okay,
episodes.
good. So, like in episode one, where Bruce puts his shoes away and then they fall over, and he doesn't really want to go back and put them, but then he's like, "Oh no, I better put my shoes back on the rack." Or just it's like little tiny things, or having that drawer in the kitchen that is full of take to go sauces, right? Like I haven't been in any Asian household that doesn't have that drawer of like extra soy sauce, hot sauce, sambal, like anything, right? Or chili flakes or Parmesan cheese. Like I save all of that stuff in a little drawer, and I wanted to throw little things like that in there as much as I can.
Now for context for people who will be watching this interview, you are a first generation Asian, and from my understand, from Thailand.
From Thailand, yes, my parents were both born in Thailand, and they met out here in LA actually. So yeah, me and my sister, first gen Thai Thai kids. Yeah, growing up in the valley, we grew up in Van Nuys, and yeah, it's just small community. We didn't know a lot of other Thai people growing up, but obviously found our small community, and Thai temple every Sunday for the food festival. Like, I don't, if you haven't gone and you want to make a trip out here to LA, there is a amazing food festival at the Thai temple at Wat Thai in the valley.
Off of
It's a
Coldwater, yes.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah, it's great. Anyone who wants to eat Thai food, like that's the place to go if you're in LA.
I know this series is besides the Taipei part, this is a very much LA story because you literally brought in every single, I want to say nearly every single Asian neighborhood except for Thai Town and
Yeah.
Little Tokyo from what I gathered.
Yeah, we really wanted to make sure that we were representing the 626 San Gabriel Valley, right? It's such a big part of the Los Angeles DNA, and it's so often overlooked just because it is a suburb that's away from the city, but it's got its own really strong sense of community over there. And so many people are from there, and I have fond memories of having friends in the San Gabriel Valley. A lot of the people who worked on the show are from the SGV, and we just really wanted to make sure that that part of the world was as much of a character as, say, like an example we always used was the way Albuquerque was a character in Breaking Bad. We wanted to make sure that in our own way that the San Gabriel Valley was a character of this show. So we really took that to heart and wanted to make sure that we represented it as authentically as possible. Obviously, within the confines of our like larger than life story, we wanted to make sure that the neighborhood was treated with respect.
And what about filming in Taipei? Obviously, that is for the purpose of advancing the story, but you literally went to Taipei to for this production for
Yeah,
that.
we had to make sure that we showed that that background. I mean, the background is so rich and it's so vibrant and it showcases where Mama Son is from. So it's very important that episode that was directed by Viet. He did a great job on that episode and it shows her going back home and just being around the environment, smelling the smells, feeling the light, feeling the atmosphere that brings her back home and gives her a sense of peace that you can't really get anywhere else. And that's one of those unspoken moments in the show where you just see her taking it all in and she doesn't have to utter a single word and you can understand what it is she's feeling, right? There's always that sense of coming home that relaxes you and puts you in a very nostalgic place. And in her situation, it's a bit bittersweet. So I find that moment in the series very important because it takes Mama Son in her journey of all the craziness that she has involved. It grounds her. It takes her back to when she was just simply somebody living in Taipei before she became who she is. So that was very important to show and to show the culture and the food and just how beautiful it can be over there. So it's just a symbol of a life that she left behind, and it's sad but she can never go back, right? She can't. So that's a very important part of the show because that is where her heart was.
Now, I wonder, being a Thai American director for yourself, this a lot of people here are Chinese and speak a lot of Mandarin. How do you navigate through that, or
We
do
had
you speak Mandarin?
no, I don't speak Mandarin, but we had such a good group of people on set. Like there were a lot of people who spoke either Cantonese or Mandarin. We had a coach. A lot of people who were Chinese were working on the show because we wanted to make sure it was represented in front and behind camera. So that was very, very much so the case in this show. So we were always around, I guess, what you would consider cultural experts because everyone around us had like grown up being either Chinese or Thai, or June is actually Korean and he plays TK, who is Korean. So it was a good, we had a good group of authentic voices that were able to support and answer all of the questions and find the relatability within everyone's version of that upbringing.
So, how important was it to have mostly, most of your cast being Asian, most of your production team also being Asian?
I think it's very important. And it was something that I know that Byron and Brad were super adamant about. And I respect that wholeheartedly. I think it was super important because everyone was taking their life experience and putting it into the show, as opposed to doing like really hardcore research for a good a few months and then putting it in there. This is all about like taking things that you noticed when you were younger or things that you were able to bring to the table that were your authentic experiences. So that was something that was very important to, I know, all of the producers, was to make sure that those voices were felt within all of the crew and cast, so that a lot of the homework in between was kind of already done because they just lived their life, right? So that was a big reason why authentic voices was so important, is because we needed to be in a world that felt like you just walked in and it wasn't created. It was there already. So that's why it was super important.
So how was the casting process like? How did you end up with Justin and Sam? I mean, you have to find a couple brothers who are very polar opposite to each other.
Yes. So the search was, it was crazy. We had one of the best casting directors in the world named Jenny Ju, who was so dedicated. Um, she took this on and really nailed it. I mean, we did a search around the world and she went everywhere. She searched high and low. She saw everyone. She read everybody, and it was hard because when it comes to Charles's role, you need this strong sense of confidence within silence, but you also have to have those eyes where you can see what's going on behind them. I particularly respond well to watching an actor digest information as opposed to speak it, because I feel like I can see what's going on in their eyes. And Justin who plays Charles, has the uncanny ability to do that. Like he can just sit there and you can see him listening to somebody talk and you can understand everything that's going on in his head. So that was a quality that was so important for Charles's role, because he is silent so much of the time and is unable to say the things that he really needs here. So those subtleties and nuances in his eye twitches and body language were so important. Now on the other side, we had Sam, who plays Bruce, who was just like all energy and smiles and lightness when he walked in the room. And it was infectious. Like the second he walked in, I think all of us collectively were like, yeah, so he's clearly Bruce. This is like obviously. And it just got better from there. And then when we put the two of them together, man, I would love to be able to say that the credit goes to us for how well they bonded and how good their chemistry is. But it was natural. It was just, you put them in a room together and their personalities just really clicked. And I think that they started hanging out a lot, and that just furthered their bond. They were able to get the rhythm of being brothers just by living life together in their own way. And it works so well because their banter feels very organic and real. And actually in real life, like if you just saw them hang out with each other, you would think that they are brothers because there is that older brother, younger brother dynamic at all times. So it was quite special to discover all of that. And Jenny Ju really nailed it.
I do think you guys actually nailed it, and I love Michelle Yeoh in a lot of things, but it seems like you use Michelle very differently than what other people would intend to use Michelle in series.
Yeah, and I think she wanted to too. Like she was really game to, coming off of Everything Everywhere All at Once, she was getting all of this amazing, rightful praise. And I think she just wanted to keep exploring and having fun. And I've always known Michelle Yeoh at a distance, like watching her as a legend and this amazing actress who's been doing incredible work for so long. And I think we all know her as this kind of very regal person who's very elegant and always stoic. So I think seeing her a little messier, more as a suburban mom who's just trying to do right by her two sons, um, is fun to see her in. And something that Michelle is great at, that is comedy. Like, and I'm really happy that she's able to do that now, right? Like, Everything Everywhere just proved that she knew how to do not only comedy with timing, but physical comedy as well. So that we wanted to make sure all of that was involved here and just gave her a playground to explore and have fun and do things that were not typically asked of her.
Now, of course, viewers do want me to address is the action in this series, and I don't want to put you in the box saying that you're just an action director. After all, you did
No,
I Rescue
no.
there. Tell us about the creative fight sequences and stunts, because I feel like if you watch a lot of arts action films or series, you seem to have to up the game, find ways to
Every time.
uniquely, yeah, present it or film it in this case. And you guys actually did that for this
Oh,
series.
thank you. That means so much. I mean, listen, I love working in action. Like my background comes from choreography, so it's all kind of the same, right? Like whether you're dancing or you're fighting on screen, it's the same. So I've always had a love for it. So I grew up watching martial arts films. So when this came around, I called up my friend Justin Yu, who I worked with on Agents of Shield, but since then has been doing like nothing but huge movies. And I was like, I just got lucky that he had a moment in his schedule. I said, hey, I want to talk to you about this because we have this show that's an all Asian cast, and yes, there is martial arts in it, but it's not a martial arts show per se, right? Like, yes, it's there, but it's not the sole focus. It's meant to enhance character first. So he took that to heart. I mean, and Justin's one of those very special stunt coordinators who brings an incredible team, and they all think about story first, right? I think yes, we're all a bunch of kids who want to see really cool fight sequences and choreography and big explosions and all that. But we also, I think, understand that if it doesn't come from a place of moving some sort of character arc or story point forward, then it's it's just fireworks and it's not that impressive anymore. So we took that to heart and we had a lot of fun doing that. So it was a collaborative effort. And also I got to say that the actors really wanted to embrace it. I mean, they Keanu Reeves the hell out of it, meaning they trained. They really trained. They really took it to heart. Like Justin trained so much. And so did like Alice and even, Sam had to train also, but we also wanted to make sure that he wasn't too refined because he's supposed to be just a kid who's caught up in a crazy situation. So he can't look like he knows how to fight ever. So it was finding the balancing act of making sure that everyone felt authentic within their fights. That was challenging. And the music makes it all better. And kudos to the writers for coming up with a lot of really great ideas, like doing an inflatable dinosaur martial arts fight is awesome. Like, I think that's so cool.
That I have no idea how you put. Well, I don't have no idea how your stunt team pull that off
They were
in those costumes. That was a very eye-opening, and kudos to your cinematographer. I mean, like the opening shot in the first episode with the focus on the TV and the blurred
oh good.
background. That was extremely creative. I was like going, wow, that is
Great. I'm
something
so
that
happy you
you
like
don't
that.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say that's one of my favorite action sequences. And it's because it was a creative decision as opposed to like covering a fight, right? It was like, oh no, here's a creative choice that we're making. And now you don't have to go over there and cover 10 other angles of the fight because we're making a choice like this. And it stands out. So I'm really happy you pinpointed that one up because that one's very special to me. I really love that one. It's all sound design and you just can hear it and feel it in the distance.
Absolutely. And now you didn't direct all the episodes. I believe you split it with Viet Nguyen.
Viet Nguyen, yes, he did 3 episodes and he was great. It was we I wanted to make sure that we found a partner that like just understood the world we were living in and he just knew it immediately. So like him and I were able to partner up and just kind of tag team it and it was great. Like he's a really good dude. He's got a great eye, great sense of humor. Um, and he nailed it. So it was like it was one of those experiences where it almost felt like we were all in film school in an odd way because we were all there just having a good time, like creating the story and using our background experiences and upbringings as material for the show. So it was a really cool experience.
Now, with all this, under your belt, which direction do you want to head towards? Like maybe like down the road, you want to do like a John Wick movie, hopefully, or
Oh
more
yeah.
action
No, I
series
mean,
for Disney.
yeah, no. I mean, I listen, action's always going to be a part of my DNA, but I also would love to do a big family action movie kind of in a nostalgic way take me back to the movies that I grew up loving and being inspired by. So I would love to do that eventually, but also I'm a big horror fan. I'm a really big horror fan. So and there's that's a genre that I'm hoping to attack very soon.
Oh wow. Well, you should like combine meet up with James Wan or somebody like that
That's right.
to
Yeah.
get into something like that. And Kevin, just personally, what got you into directing? I guess technically it's a family affair, right? All
Well, yeah, I actually grew up never like intending that for that to be my goal. It was originally I wanted to be Stan Winston. I wanted to be like Rob Bottin and Rick Baker, and I wanted to be a creature designer. So that was my way. My love for filmmaking kind of went through that. And then I just started immersing myself as much as possible. But I also had a dance background. So that kind of got swept up in there. And because of my choreography background, my path to directing was via that way. But I had never had thought that I would even be able to be a director. I thought that was so distant. So, but I grew up loving genre and film and TV. So originally that was my way in, was that I wanted to be a creature designer. But obviously life happens, and I was lucky enough to figure out a way to get here, and I'm very lucky.
wow, most excellent. And I'm going to throw this out and see if you could actually respond. พูดภาษาไทยได้เปล่าครับ
Oh, uh-oh. I wish I knew how to, but I don't. I really do. When I was in Thailand, I picked up a little bit, but it is a very difficult language.
Yeah.
It is and I grew up with a hearing loss, so I have hearing aids. So I realized that it would have been really rough for me because of all the tone shifts,
Hmm.
right? It can mean so many different things depending on where the pitch of your tone is. So I'm really sad I don't know how to speak Thai, but yeah.
Well, it is a difficult language. I mean, their alphabet is very extensive and so many consonants. I do have to admit, I'm amazed you actually went to Thailand to do a film
Yeah.
project over there. So that
Oh, it was a really beautiful experience, and I was very happy to go there and see a lot of my family.
that is wonderful, and you should actually explore some of the Thai horror scene over there. I mean, they have some amazing creatures. Me personally, I would love to see in American cinema.
Me too. There's an untapped well of Thai folklore. And actually, I just read yesterday that there was an animated movie that's going to be based in Thai mythology. It was announced like yesterday. So I was like, oh, great. That's really cool. But as far as like horror is concerned, yes, there's a lot of really good Thai horror movies out there.
Most excellent. Well, Kevin, hey, I really appreciate it. You do us very proud on the brother son as a
Thank
person
you.
who, like myself, I was born in Bangkok and now I'm here.
I love that. That's great. It's great to meet like another. Are you Thai?
I am Thai.
Oh, beautiful. That's amazing. That's great. Okay, cool. It's always great to meet another Thai person because to be honest, I don't meet a lot of Thai people in the business. I can keep it on a phone list of like 5 to 10, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Um,
know this is the first time I came across you, even though I've been doing all this since 2009 2008. So sometimes it's actually funny that this industry is so big
yeah.
and I track down a lot in Los Angeles like 3 times a week. I'm going down there right after this. So
Oh, well, very cool. We'll have a safe trip over here.
So most excellent. Hopefully we'll cross paths once again. So once again, congratulations for the brother
Thank
son.
you so much.
Hopefully,
Thank you.
hopefully we do this again. Congrats.
Bye.